The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys. Here's Nick Eatman.
What's up? Welcome to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette. It's one of those short weeks. Quick turnaround. Cowboys with a huge win against the Eagles, 24-21 last Sunday. Can't celebrate too long because Patrick Mahomes coming to town for Thursday's Thanksgiving Day game. They get a win as well. They're just a half game better than the Cowboys. But they have been to a Super Bowl or three the last few years, and you just kind of get the sense that they're going to get it turned around, and maybe the Cowboys are turning things around as well. They've won 2 straight games, and they're 5-5-1. See if they can get over 500 for the first time this year with the win. Sure would be a lot of fun. Let's talk about it. All right, 888-855-2297 is the number to call. Irene in Falls Church, Virginia is first. She's a captain of the show. She starts us off.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
In honor of Thanksgiving, I love people answer this question. Who are you more thankful for, GP3 or Q-Dubs? For me right now, it's GP3 for entertainment value and the larger sample size. But if we make this playoff push, huge testament for Quinn Williams. All right, that's it for me. Happy Thanksgiving to you, awesome. Chris, and all the Storyline family.
Oh, awesome. What a great call. What a great way to start us off here, Irene. Yeah, wow. I've got kids now. You know, when you have kids, you don't pick your favorites, right? I have favorites, but you don't say them. Who am I most thankful for? I think I'm thankful that George Pickens has been here all year to help keep this thing afloat and help them win some games, even without CD. I had to be there by himself. So I'm thankful for him getting there, and I'm also thankful for Quinn Williams to kind of get here and now get this defense to the point where they can go win a game. The defense won the game. I mean, defense won the football game against the Eagles. And we just wouldn't expect that to be said. But it happened, and, they did a great job of getting those necessary stops, 8 in a row to be exact. And, when you really look at how the game went down, I mean, even the first 3 drives, I mean, the Eagles got the ball twice at the 50 or inside the 50, and then the second touchdown drive, they got gifted 2 first downs based off of penalties when the Cowboys looked like they had gotten stops and gotten off the field. So, really, when you break it down, the Cowboys outplayed the Eagles. It took a while to get there, but once they settled down and played football, they were better than the Eagles were for that day. All right, let's go to Gary. He's in New Mexico. Gary, what's up?
Hey, happy Thanksgiving week, Nick.
All right, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. Hey, real quick, name the other 2 times the Cowboys came back from 21 down to win the game.
The other 3 times?
Was there 3 times?
Yeah. They beat the Saints in 84. They beat Washington in 99, and then they beat the Rams in 2014.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I forgot about the Ram game. Okay, cool deal. So y'all missed one. Y'all missed one last week on your trivia on the website. Y'all got one wrong.
What did we say?
Mike Quick caught that touchdown, not Harold Carmichael. Yeah.
All right. You know what's funny about this, Gary? Is I had it wrong. I had Harold Carmichael. And so
you got that part right.
No. But go ahead, Gary.
Let's talk about this week's team. This week, man, Sunday's win was different. That was a different win. That was a signature win. That is a building block win. They can build off that win, man, and you're absolutely right. The defense won that game. Mm-hmm. But for the Cowboys to overcome what they had to beat 2 teams on Sunday. They had to beat themselves and Philadelphia because they were fighting against themselves the entire first half.
Right.
And the mental toughness that they displayed in pulling out that game, man, they can build off of that. And I am excited about this team. Let's just be patient. Let that defense cook. That defense is so much better with these new players. Let's see what we can do against Kansas City. Re-sign George Pickens. Get him signed. Right now, Pickens is your best receiver. I love C.D. Lamb, but right now in this moment, Pickens is your number one. Mm-hmm. And I hope C.D. gets back on track because, I mean, this team is fun to watch. And that game Sunday, Nick, that was the funnest game I've watched. That was old school NFC East, man. It just did my heart good to watch that football game. But I'll hang up and listen to your comments. All right. Let's go beat Kansas City on Thursday.
All right, sounds good. I like it. Signature win for sure. And Gary always throws trivia questions in there. And I had it wrong. You're right. And here's when I realized it. It wasn't just now when you said it. I was actually walking from one press box to another over to the radio side, and the Eagles play-by-play, and then their color guy is Mike Quick, and I've seen him for years because he does the games, and he's walking past me, and I'm like, oh, that's Mike Quick, and right then and there it hit me. Wait a second, I think it was Mike Quick that scored that touchdown. It was not going to be Harold Carmichael in his 13th year getting past the cow. It was Mike Quick, and I was like, dang, I think we got that wrong. And I didn't think about it again until you just said it. But you're right. Got to do a little double checking on that one. All right. Let's go Lewis at Langston, Oklahoma. Lewis, what's up?
What's going on? I just want to say happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I might not get in later on. Secondly, I want to celebrate the win, but I kind of was a little frustrated with Schotty's play calling, and it kind of frustrated me because we get inside the 10-yard line. And I know Guyton got that flag for false start, but he does this thing where he gets inside the 10 and he starts trying to throw the ball. You have a 220-pound running back. Like, let him score. Don't get me wrong. I know Dak Prescott can throw the ball, but, like, let the man get in the end zone. He worked us all the way down there.
Right.
And then that 4th and 3 was kind of driving me crazy at the beginning of the game. I'm like, I know you want momentum, and I don't know if you trust your defense or not. You want to try to take the momentum away. But, like, I mean, he says it all the time. You don't win the game in the first quarter. You don't win the game in the second quarter. In the third quarter, you win in the fourth. But, like, so punt the ball and let us go, you know. Like, He hasn't challenged the plate. He hasn't challenged anything this year. So I'm like, nothing against him. I love it. But, like, sometimes, hey, just throw the flag. I mean, the best you could do is, like you said, I mean, if you lose it in the first quarter, we got the second half to figure it out. But throw the flag. So that was my only gripe I had at the game outside of being down 21-0. I enjoyed the entire game from beginning to end. But I'm gonna get off and I'll let everybody else get on. But I had to get that off my chest for a little bit. So I'll talk to y'all later.
All right. Well, I agree with you. I really do. I thought that's a great point you just said. He said it in his postgame. You don't win it in the first. You don't win in the second. You don't lose it either. So you know, play smart football. He's got to balance that better. He's got to balance that you can't put your whole football team in a bad way because you're the offensive coordinator and you watch these guys practice all week and you know they can get this 4th and 3 and it's not the smart football play. It wasn't at the time. And so, you know, there's a lot of things people do like that as a coordinator. And I saw it in a game, in the Monday night game, when Carolina, there was a penalty on the extra point. So they took the point off the board because the ball was getting moved from the 2 to the 1. So let's go out there and go to a 2-point conversion. But then they throw the ball. I mean, what's the point of going from the 2 to the 1 if you're going to throw it? That you're not really helping yourself. You're going to run it and push in. I get it. But if you're going from the 2 to 1 so you could throw it, that makes no sense to me. All right, let's go to a break real quick on Cowboys Storyline. I'll be right back after this.
Cowboys fans, when it comes to navigating the ever-changing world of tax, your business needs a partner it can trust to tackle even your biggest tax challenges. Ryan is the largest firm in the world dedicated exclusively to business taxes. Our team of tax professionals has local expertise in all areas of tax and can help you uncover savings opportunities you didn't know you had. Learn more about how Ryan can improve your overall corporate tax performance by visiting Ryan.com. Ryan, the official tax partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Crown Royal and the Dallas Cowboys are bringing back the Royal Rig for Season 2. See it in action at AT&T Stadium on Thanksgiving Day, where the Dallas Cowboys take on the Kansas City Chiefs, and around Dallas on November 26th and November 28th. Visit crownroyal.com to see where else the Royal Rig is stopping this NFL season. That's crownroyal.com. Please drink responsibly.
Altec Lansing has been perfecting sound since 1927, bringing you decades of audio excellence to elevate your Dallas Cowboys tailgate ritual. Equip your next pregame with the Sound Rover 180 with 6 hours of playtime, built-in microphone, multicolor light modes, and a rugged exterior that's built to last. Visit alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off your Sound Rover 180. That's alteclansing.com/Cowboys15 for 15% off. Altec Lansing, official audio partner of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline. Got a big week. I love Thanksgiving week. I say it all the time. I know I haven't had Thanksgiving, dinner with my family on Thanksgiving in, I don't know, almost 30 years. But we make up for it. I mean, we figure out, Thanksgiving is kind of when you can get together. But I don't know what it is. It's my favorite holiday for sure to be able to be at the game. I mean, it's a tradition. I mean, we all remember as kids, wherever you'd go eat, get your meals and watch the game, but you were watching the Cowboys or the Lions maybe early, but then the Cowboys. It's just such a tradition now to be a part of it. Yeah, you don't get to be with your family, but during Thanksgiving Day, but it's a great excuse when I've learned that. Where's Nick? Well, he's at the game that we're watching, so it always works out. All right, Sergeant Sue is on the line. He's from Fort Worth. What's up?
At ease, everybody. How you doing, Nick?
Good. How are you?
Man, dude, I'm still on a high from that game, man. The defense played lights out. And what I'm hoping that changes now, and I think it's kind of like your last caller maybe was touching on it. I didn't get to hear it all. What I'm hoping that is changing now is Schotty and the offense knows what the defense can bring. So maybe that means they'll press a little bit less. You don't have to go for it on fourth down. You don't have to, go for it at midfield, to try to make a statement. You know what your defense can do now. You know what I mean? And maybe it's a small sample size, but it's a sample size that I enjoyed tasting. So that's what I'm hoping going forward, especially under the leadership of Quinnen Williams coming in and being that vocal leader, being that guy that's rallying the troops on defense. I don't feel like we haven't had a guy like that in a long time because, quite frankly, I hate to bring his name up, but Micah, in that situation, I feel like he would have started pouting and started just worrying about his own stats. We don't got that guy no more. We got like Davion said, we got a dude. Also, the YouTube chat, I just want to shout out Alan. He wanted me to ask you, Nick, which I'm sure you're going to give at the end of the show, what your prediction is for the game. Appreciate you, Nick, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
All right, thank you. I'm not ready for a prediction yet. We'll see. I don't know. I haven't even thought about that one yet, but I do get the sense, just like A.J. Brown, I was just like, I've seen it all year long, all this mess with A.J. Brown, and I'm like, oh, watch. He'll play the Cowboys. He'll get it turned around, and he did. Just like that's the way I feel about the Chiefs. I feel like they're going to get it turned around, and they sort of are. When the ball's in Mahomes' hands, you expect he's going to go make a play. We were talking about the question you just said about Sergeant Sue. You were talking about hoping that Schottenheimer kind of trusts the defense even more. There's two ways to that, because you can also say, well, I do trust the defense. That's why if we don't get it, I trust the defense. You could make that argument when the ball was at the 1 yard line, 4th and 1 with 3 minutes to go. I didn't really hate going for it, but I would have run it. Because the last thing you need, if you don't get it, last thing you need is an interception in the end zone, which we've already seen in that game, and then it's a touchback. So did it not work? I don't know. You can say that it worked, because even though you didn't get it, think about if you kicked the field goal. Okay, 3 minutes to go. You kick the field goal, you kick off. Eagles going to get the ball about the 30-yard line, maybe 35, depending on where the kickoff is. They're going to go get a field goal. They're probably going to go get a field goal. They're probably, if maybe a touchdown. That's the thing, is that, yeah, you can say, well, the Cowboys, hadn't stopped them, but it's a difficult, you get in that 2-minute mode and you have good field position. The Eagles can kind of play a little bit downhill, and they can go, and I would imagine they'd get in a position to go score. So by not getting it, now they're down. They're back there at their own 1 yard line. Now they got out of it a little bit, but ultimately they had to punt. And when they did, the Cowboys had just enough time. So I think I think going for it was the right call. I don't know if passing it when your running back is running the way that he is. All right, let's go. Ronnie is next.
Hey, Nick. Good morning.
Ronnie in Union City, New Jersey.
Hey, how you doing, Nick?
Good.
Good morning. Nick, again, just in case, happy holidays to everybody. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Answering Irene's question real quick, I'm thankful for Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones and the Jones family. First of all, he's like the coolest owner. There's people that don't like. I love Jerry Jones. I love every crazy stuff he comes out with sometimes. He's one of the funniest guys out there. So, I love Jerry Jones, and he allows you guys to do what you do and let us make the calls that we're making right now. So I love Jerry Jones. I'm thankful for him. And finally opening his eyes and letting him see that we needed a big three technique and a nice defensive line in the middle, stuff in that middle. So, I'm thankful for all of that. Kansas City's not who they once were. They're still a little scary because they got Mahomes, but I think we're going to win this one 31-28, Nick.
All right.
31-28. Thanks for taking my call. Have a good one.
31-28. Usually I talked about this last week or earlier this week when I get calls and scores that come in. I immediately try to think of a game that happened with that score. And so you say 31-28. I think that was the score of the game that they beat the Chiefs. Was it 20 years ago? In 2005? I think they played them in 2005 at home. And I think they won 31-28. It was something like that. Dan Campbell scored a touchdown in that game. So I know they played them in 95 on Thanksgiving, and they played them in 2005 at home at Texas Stadium. So now here they are, 2025 playing for Thanksgiving. All right. Aime in Napa, California is next. Aime.
Hey, Nick. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I feel like a kid in a candy store every time I get through, man, just because it's like you just never know how many times it's going to take or if it's going to get through or not. And so it's like, it's ringing. He answered. All right. Yeah. So, man, it's great to talk to you.
That's awesome.
Man, I haven't had a chance to listen this morning because I was obviously trying to get in on my phone and stuff. So I don't know what you guys been covering, but I wanted to kind of go back really quick. I had a quick question about the Eagles game, and then I wanted to just put in my input about the Chiefs. My question for the Eagles, number 65 on the offensive line for the Eagles, didn't it feel like in the first quarter he wasn't getting set at all, and they weren't calling anything on him? Like he stood up and he would look back at the quarterback. Yeah. And then he never seemed like he got set, and he would just turn around and they would hike the ball, and it was like I didn't understand that. I don't know if anybody else brought that up or
they called it once, but it might not have been on him. They called it with another guy that popped up. But you're right, when a wide receiver like goes in motion or the wide receiver is shifting, he's got to get set. He's got to get established. And you're right. I don't think that the guard does that. I think that isn't it weird where, like, if you were in your stance and you just do a one little flinch, that's a penalty. But if you stand up and point and then go like that and then all of a sudden get back down, like, that's okay. Like, you can do that. But you can't, like, just, like, blink too much because that would be a penalty. But if you're standing up and pointing and saying, hi, all that, it's crazy. And it's crazy that the Cowboys couldn't time that a little bit better, because once he goes down, they're hiking it. But, yeah, the Eagles always seem to do it like it always seems to be a penalty in whatever they're doing. But
yeah, I completely agree. I was thinking, man, just blitz somebody up his hole or something like that after a minute of, like, man, get them to stop if they're not going to call it. But it is what it is. It came out on top, man. Just really quick, again, I've already talked about how much I love the Quinn Williams trade, and obviously we've seen in 2 games, how big of a difference it is. It's just amazing that we were able to make 7-8 stops in a row. Yeah, it was great. But my point is do you feel like Schotty has to maybe change his mindset where, like, before he was changing his mindset towards the defense not being able to make stops, and so he's going for it. And I think we've seen some of that in the beginning of the game, like or throughout the game, of him going for it and not trusting on his defense. And it feels like now it's like we have a defense you can trust. Let's play more of both sides of the ball and, complementary football type thing. But I'd like to hear what you have to say about that, man. If I don't get in, because it's tough, man, go Cowboys. I think we got it. Low-scoring game this time, 27-20, 21, something like that.
All right.
23-21. Anyways, have a good one, Nick. I love you.
Thanks for the call.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
All right. Thank you for the call. Appreciate that. All right. We did touch on that a little bit about Schottenheimer already, maybe needing to change as far as that mindset a little bit, playing a little bit more complimentary football. Let's go to break real quick on Cowboys Storyline. I'll be right back after this.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that sticked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades than Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas Cowboys.
All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline. This segment is presented by Yeti, officially licensed Yeti Cowboys gear, now available at Stadium Pro Shops concession and on Storyline and on Yeti.com. Love this Yeti. All right, Sebastian in Savannah, Georgia.
How we doing, sir?
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Man, I went back and watched that game, and normally when I would go back and watch a game, I watch a condensed version on, like, the NFL app. I had to watch the whole game. Because that game, the Cowboys versus the Eagles.
No, I know. You watched the whole game.
Like, yeah, the whole game.
Tom Brady version and all that.
Yeah, it was literally crazier than my bipolar ex-girlfriend, and I loved every minute of it just like I loved her. I think what's going on with the Kansas City Chiefs, though, however, since we're moving on to the next game, they've become like the team of the late 90s of the Cowboys. They've started to show their age. Kelsey's not doing as much as he used to do. So they're kind of at that transitional period where their drafts aren't necessarily hitting as hard as they used to. They don't have as much speed. And I think we can take advantage of that. I've been watching their defense, very solid defense, but they're susceptible to tight ends. So there's going to be a big game for Spamford and, of course, our boy Ferguson. I'm kind of out on Schoonmaker this year. He's really disappointed in a lot of his, not just blocking, but his catching. He hasn't really made any plays that make me think that he's going to be the tight end to do the job. So we can hit them with the tight ends. And then, of course, when it comes to, like, CD and GP, you're going to need both of them. CD has to realize that he's not George Pickens, and George Pickens is not CD. CD's a technician, and George Pickens is the type of superstar receiver that we normally see in the number 88. So I don't believe in switching on that guy because in the long run, a guy like CD is going to have a much longer career in this league because once George Pickens' body starts to break down a lot like Dez did, you're going to need those technical skills. We'll see if he has them. And I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah, that's a really good point because you're at that stage in your career where you can kind of out-athlete people. But the difference is, I'm going to say this about George Pickens. He's a pretty good route runner. Like he is. He's very crisp in running those routes. He runs a slant as good as anyone. Now I know that's a basic route, but not everybody runs it perfectly. He does a really good job of kind of finding, the holes in the coverage. So he's not just freelancing out there, I don't think. But you're right. They're going to have their games. There's going to be a game where Pickens has 2 catches for 20 yards and maybe 5 or 6 targets or whatever. It just didn't work out that way. But you hope on the other side that's where CD goes to work, because defensive coordinators are not just going to sit there and go, all right, just let him throw it up to Pickens. I mean, you're not going to do that. He's so good with the ball that you're gonna have to roll some more coverage that way. That's exactly what CD wants and what he needs. So it's a good problem to have. But you hope that they both kind of handle it the right way. First game of the year, in Philly, CD dropped those passes, but Pickens didn't really have a huge game. I think he had 3 catches for 30 yards or something like that. All right. I do want to say in Napo, he was calling. He called the previous call. You kind of said the same thing as maybe what Sergeant Sue had said earlier, just about the defense is coming along now. You don't necessarily, and Lewis from Langston said it too. You don't have to go for every pass. You don't have to go for. You can kick some field goals. You can punt if you need to. Just remember this: the Cowboys scored 40 points against the Giants, 40 points against Green Bay, 38 points, I believe, against the Jets, 44 points against Washington, 34 against the Raiders. And if CD, that might be where the whole thing started, was CD dropped that pass at the very end of the game against the Raiders. But if he catches that ball for a touchdown, that's 41 points. It should be 41 points. In all of those games, 40, 40, 38, 44, and then it could be 41. In every one of those games, the Cowboys kicked a field goal, if not 2. So kicking field goals does not mean it's going to be, you're only going to score 15 points or so. Kicking field goals means keep it rolling, keep adding those points up. You're going to score touchdowns as well. You can have high number games and still kick field goals is the point that I'm making. Matt in L.A. is next. Matt.
Good early morning, Nick. Happy Thanksgiving from California. I'm going to be pretty quick right here. I just wanted to ask you 2 things.
Okay.
The first thing is I think you've mentioned it a couple times. We weren't really sure if Rico Dowdle was going to stay with the Cowboys. You had a feeling he wanted to go back to North Carolina.
Right.
I've heard you say it. But when we look right now, boy, I'm telling you, Malik Davis sort of looks a little bit like Rico Dowdle.
Yeah.
And I don't think we really want to let him walk out of the building after this year. I don't know what his contract status is. I think that's a point of emphasis. And then the second thing I wanted to ask you is, in all reality, what is the chance that we are able to keep Javonte Williams, Kenny Clark, and sign Pickens? And I'm going to give you a prediction of the game. I'm going to say Cowboys 27, Chiefs 23. Thank you for your time, Nick.
All right, thank you. Man, re-signing all those guys, I wasn't expecting the Malik Davis re-sign question or anything. He was on practice squad until this week. I mean, they finally put him on the team this week. I think every team in the league has a Malik Davis, has a guy like that. But what I like about him is it seems like he's running the ball, he's playing special teams, he's doing it with more of a purpose. When you've been cut 3 or 4 times and you elevated down back to the practice squad and all that, your paycheck's different, obviously, than the others. You're playing in a different way. And not everyone does that, but it does feel like you're getting the best version of Malik Davis. The Cowboys would love to play Jaden Blue. They would love for him to be that guy. They drafted him. They want him to be a contributor. They want to see what kind of speed, that he can showcase. But he's not playing better than Malik Davis. Malik gives him more production, more plays on special teams, probably even better as a runner. This isn't the 40-yard dash. This is going out and playing football. And so it's more than just speed. So I credit Malik Davis for being that guy. And maybe that'll light a fire in Jaden Blue and anyone else on the practice squad to say, hey, that could be me. I'm not saying Jaden Blue's on the practice squad. I'm saying maybe he can light a fire to him because they're in the same position. And then also anybody else on the practice squad that kind of sees that the journey and the path Malik is making. As for those guys that you mentioned about re-signing, I think Jerry said it on the radio this morning that he doesn't see Pickens not playing here next year. They'll get it done. Now he said the same thing about Micah. We know that, but I just have a hard time thinking that that's not going to be something that happens. They'll figure it out. I mean, you can always franchise him. You're not going to love that. He's not going to love that, but that is something that's on the table. You'll franchise him if you need to. And what that does is buys you a little time in the off season to maybe work out a deal as well. I think Kenny Clark is under contract, but still they may have to want to rework some things there. They could rework Quinnen Williams' deal maybe too. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a younger guy that's going to be here some too. So there's options. And then Javonte Williams, we'll see. Well, we'll see what the money looks like. I mean, think about this. Rico didn't get a lot of money after he went 1,000 yards, whatever. He didn't get a ton of money. I don't think Javonte's going to get a big deal. I think there's a good chance for Javonte to be back. I think so. All right, Rick in Webster, Massachusetts.
Hey, Nick. How be you doing?
Hey, Rick.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and Christmas too.
You too. Thank you.
And the storyliners and stuff like that. But I have a couple of questions. One, to Irene's question, I would go with QW because he's made this defense better. Without the defense, we'd still be just throwing up points and they'd be scoring more points. So I'm going with QW. As far as the previous question about the Philadelphia Eagle guy who was kept on looking up, maybe he was the signal caller instead of the center because I don't know. But that was, I would agree with you guys that it looks like it might have been just trying to create things. But after that, my score would probably be it's going to be the Cowboys 28 and Kansas City 20.
28-20?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for the call. 28-20. No game pops up in my head for that score. Yeah, if I was understanding you correctly, Rick, were you saying maybe that was the actual play, that was actually the guy that was calling the snap, like by doing that instead of Jalen Hurts actually making the sound that you have for the snap, that maybe it's that guy at the line of scrimmage. Who knows? It looks weird. It doesn't look like normal football when you have a guy standing up like that, the guards and centers. Again, I don't understand it. But the Eagles kind of always seem like they're a couple seasons ahead of everyone else, and then they'll figure it out. Like I would imagine the tush push is going to go away this year, especially because now you're seeing all these false starts, and it's just almost it's hard for them to monitor that and to officiate it correctly. I don't know what they do as far as pushing guys forward or whatever. I know what I would do is the rule that I would make if I was the commissioner. First thing I would do would be eliminate the stiff arm to the face. But next thing I would do would be take away the tush push. What I would say is that if you are an eligible receiver, you cannot shove anyone in the back. If you're an eligible receiver. Now, if you're a lineman and the ball goes 7-8 yards down the field, and then they still want to do that, which if they let people push the pile, that's fine. But you would be a lineman doing it. But if you're an eligible receiver, that means you can't line up behind the quarterback, and you can do that. It doesn't take away the quarterback sneak. You can still do that. If your center can do that, get low, and your quarterback strong like Jalen Hurts, you can still do that. You just can't have Saquon Barkley and his thunder quads behind pushing forward like that. I mean, it's just leverage, and it doesn't make any sense. So if you can tell those two rule changes, if there's a theme to it, it's hypocritical. I mean, it really is. It's like on one hand, you can't have hands to the face unless you have the football. Then you can shove a guy and club him right in the face. That's fine because you have the ball. And the same thing about leverage. You can't jump on a guy's back to block a field goal, but you can push him in the back for a yard. That makes sense. Let's make it make sense. I can't do anything about the concussion protocol for a whole week and all that stuff, but yet we still play Thursday games. Can't do anything about that. That's the NFL, and that's their money. All right, Josh in Chicago is next.
Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good. You?
Well, re-signing Malik Davis was the last square on my bingo card, so I just hit on that.
You got it? Oh, man.
Yeah, I got it. Now we're good. That's for Chris.
Yeah, that's a good one. But, I mean, what's funny about that is it was like he wasn't even on a roster until, 3 days ago. You know what I mean? Now we're worried about re-signing him. No, I don't think you're worried about that one. But
he plays hard, you know. I mean,
he does.
He reminds me of Joe Looney, right? When we had Joe was kind of sticking around and would just kind of come back and forth and always go out there and just play hard. Mm-hmm. So, the reason I called today, I was hearing the comments and I just want to bring up the stuff with Javonte and the play calling, especially on the goal line. And what bugs me is, we used to sit behind watching Jason Garrett or Mike McCarthy, and they would have these calls where it's hey, we're going to run right up the middle. And we know everyone knows we're going to run right up the middle, and we would do it anyway and get stopped. Here it's it's working, and then we just go away from it. And that's something that cannot be done against this Chiefs team, right? Chiefs they're too good. They can come back from down by 28. So we just got to take what we get, and we got to keep moving and doing what's working and just keep the ball moving. And hopefully that leads to a win on Thursday. Have a good Thanksgiving,
All right.
man.
Thank you. Yeah, football coaches, they'll outthink themselves too. You know what I mean? And this has been working so well. They're probably going to think that we'll do it again because it's working. So let's not do it. I get it, but after a 6-yard run on 1st and goal from the 8, and now it's 2nd and goal from the 2, you got to show me that they can stop it first before I just go away from it. 2nd down run, 3rd down play action, 4th down run. That's what I would think if you needed to. That would have been perfect. I mean, the most perfect thing you could have done there is run the ball on 2nd down, get stopped. Run the ball on 3rd down, get stopped. Run the ball or whatever you do on 4th down, but score. That would have been perfect because of all the time that would come off the clock and the timeouts or whatever they call it. We're analyzing a game that the Cowboys won, which is a little different. Usually when you're still talking about all these plays that they didn't win, it worked. It worked. You know what I mean? We'd be talking about Jake Ferguson fumbling the ball if they would have recovered it and won the game with a field goal. We would have been talking about that, but it didn't. Or we've been talking about Kevontae Turpin with his halfway, a fair catch signal, but it worked. It went their way. Aaron in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Aaron.
Hey, good morning. How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Oh, doing all right. Just coming into work actually, but still kind of celebrating that game. That was a wild game, man. Just a couple quick things here. I kind of thought going into last week, if we could win these 3 games, the Eagles, and then beat Chiefs here on Thursday, and then beat the Lions, what's that do for the rest of our season, I think that builds a lot of momentum and stuff. And I just kind of heard you talking about that 2nd down call, that 2nd and goal down there towards the end of the game. I was right. Everything you said is exactly how I thought about it. Why would we go to a pass instead of trying to just pound it in? But hey, it worked, right?
Right.
So I'm looking forward to the Chiefs. Chiefs, they're not as dominant. So I think we have a real chance on Thursday. We haven't looked the greatest on Thanksgiving Day in a couple of years, but I think this might be the year. I think it just feels like there's momentum building on some things here. And, if we can make it out of this 3-game stretch at 3-0, I think all bets are off and everything's ahead of us. So anyway, that's all I had today, man. Hey, happy Thanksgiving. Right. Enjoy the show and take care, bud.
All right. Thank you. Good to hear from you. You said it hadn't looked good on Thanksgiving. It won 3 in a row. I didn't realize that until I looked at it yesterday. I didn't realize they had won 3 games in a row on Thanksgiving Day. I've kind of remembered some games that didn't go so well, but because we have some people in our social media team, and they're all pretty young, and nobody's been here really that long, and they have never seen the Cowboys lose on Thanksgiving. So they beat the Giants in 22, and then Washington 23, and then the Giants again in 24. Now the competition, those quarterbacks aren't Patrick Mahomes. I know that, so we'll see. But yeah, they're not the same. But there's still Patrick Mahomes. Still all right, let's go. Let's go. Bob in New Jersey, first time caller. Bob.
Yeah, long time listener, Nick. Thanks for having me on. Tough to be a Cowboys fan up here in New Jersey, but lifelong Cowboys fan, going way, way back, like 35 years back.
Awesome, Bob. I'm gonna pop. Yeah, I gotta get the here we go in there. All right. Long time fan, right? So you've been there for a while and stuck through it all. So what you got? What's on your mind?
Sure. Quinton Williams and the kid Wilson, they seem to be making a big difference. And obviously they got some guys healthy. But what is your feelings on the Cowboys defense for the rest of the year, Nick? Thank you.
Thank you. And I'm going to piggyback that question with kind of what Aaron said before, too. If they were to beat the Chiefs and the Lions, you're 7-5-1. And I think at that point, you'd be disappointed if you weren't 11-5-1. I mean, at that point, if you're going from 3-5-1 and you've got the Raiders coming off the bye week and after the Marshawn Nealon tragedy, to get that win and then to go beat the Eagles, and then if you beat the Chiefs, and then if you beat the Lions, well, you're certainly not expecting to lose to the Chargers at home, the Vikings at home, at the Giants, at Washington. I mean, you got 4 very winnable games. These two would be very difficult to win. I think beating the Lions is going to be a huge challenge, but same with the Chiefs. But let's see how it goes. Let's take it one at a time. I agree with you. Right down the center of the defense is where it's gotten better, and that changes everything. Quinton Williams right down the middle. That's made Kenny Clark and Osa even better. But those 3 guys right there. Now you got Overshown and Logan Wilson right there, kind of playing in that middle at defense. You got your safeties back, Hooker and Donovan Wilson. And I think they're just better football players now that you got these other guys around. It's kind of funny how that works. So right down the core of the defense, you see in some big improvement there. Let's go to JR in Avondale, Arizona.
Morning, Nick. How you doing?
Good. You?
All right, man. I guess I got in 17 days in a row, and I kind of took that for granted because I haven't been able to get in for anything for the last week or so. But anyway, I haven't been able to listen to the show today. Did y'all give any props out to Woody?
Darren Woodson?
Yeah.
Not yet, but no, go for it.
He's in the next level of the finalist. And,
semifinals.
So props out to him.
Yeah.
And I saw that on ESPN this morning. I've got my fingers crossed. He makes it this time. He's one of my favorite players. So
yeah. Yeah, Darren Woodson and Jason Witten were 2 of the 25 semifinalists for the Cowboys for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So it'll get knocked down to 15 finalists as we get a little closer to it. Woody's been here before. He's been at the finalists before. So this is where you expect him to be. Expect Witten and Woody to be there. Boy, if they both make it in the same year, 28-82 in the same year. My 2 favorite players that I've ever covered to make the Hall of Fame in the same year. That would be awesome, number 1. And number 2, just get ready to go to Canton for the Hall of Fame game because we'd be in it.
Oh, definitely. I'm going if we are. So anyway, I don't believe in analytics. I think analytics don't get fired. I'm old school. If you can take the points, I think you take the points. And I don't like going for it on 4th down. I think it gives the other team all the momentum, and just don't like it. Want to see Turpin get the ball in the middle of the field. Every time that guy gets the ball, I stand up out of my seat. I just get him the ball some way.
Yeah.
And about George Pickens on the slant, I watched that over and over. He's such a long strider. His first 2 steps out of his break, he just puts distance between whoever's covering him.
He does.
Anyway, my prediction for the game, I think it's a little bit high scoring. I'm going 35-31. Cowboys win this one. And happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Everybody be safe and go Cowboys.
All right, sounds good. You mentioned that about the analytics. I'll say this, like, I don't know if I want to see what 4th and 3 at midfield, what the analytics are for that, whatever that is, whatever the percentage that it tells you to do that. Tell me what the percentage is between getting it on 4th and 3 from midfield, and what's the percentage of the opposing team going 90 yards for a touchdown, starting at their own 10-yard line and going 90. What's the percentage of a touchdown there versus a percentage? Because that's what it is to me. Like, yeah, I understand for 52% you can get that. But what's the percentage of them? Because Anger's going to get it up there. They're going to fair catch it at the 9-yard line, 10-yard line. Now first drive of the game, and they got to go 90. What's the percentage of that? Because if it's not as high, then they're probably going to punt it back to you at your 35 or 40. Now you go in there again. It's a field position game. So that's to me where analytics needs to play in. It's not just about you can get this. It's okay, but if you save it, it's like with anything. Yeah, do you have the money to pay for this third car that you don't need? Yeah, sure you could, but it'd be better if you didn't and you saved it for whatever else you need. All right, here we go. Let's go to break one more time on Cowboys Storyline and be right back after this.
All right, Cowboys fans, this one's for you. Gillette's Best Shave has a new look this season, and they've got one that's sticked out in Cowboys colors just for us. We're going to want to run, not walk to this one, y'all. The new Gillette Labs official Dallas Cowboys licensed razor isn't just Gillette's best shave. With 50% longer lasting blades than Fusion, it's the best a Cowboys fan can get. Get it while you can at Gillette.com/NFL. Gillette's Best Shave is also available as heated.
Discover Aiden, the official luggage partner of the Dallas Cowboys and Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. Known for top-tier engineering and craftsmanship, Aiden offers more than just bags. Originating from Australia and designed in New York, it merges fashion, design, and culture. Used by Dallas Cowboys players, staff, and the entire organization, Aiden provides style and functionality for all travelers. Visit AidenTheBrand.com and use code AidenXCowboys for 25% off your purchase. Travel like your favorite stars with Aiden.
Back to Cowboys Storyline, presented by Gillette, the official shave of the Dallas.
All right, welcome back to Cowboys Storyline. Real quick, we can wrap up this show. Huge win for the Cowboys against the Eagles, but you know that's what's the beauty of the NFL is that you got to just pick it up and keep it going to the next week. And the next week is right here. It's the Chiefs game. It's always tough to kind of get that turnaround, but to get that win and then it makes a short week just a little bit longer because you got a little momentum there. The Chiefs have it too now. Let's not forget that the Chiefs had an overtime win. They hadn't won any close games all year until they won that one. So they're going to be coming in fired up, of course, and there'll be a lot of fans. Don't forget that there will be a lot of Kansas City fans here, but that's okay. The Cowboys, it'll bring the Cowboy fans up there a little bit better. We'll see what happens. We'll talk about it next week on Cowboys Storyline. We'll be here. We do this every single day, presented by Gillette. For Chris Beam, I'm Nick Eatman. We will see you next time on Cowboys Storyline.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!